it could mean for many here in Chicago, not only those who are undocumented, but their families and communities, and also how they're preparing clients now ahead of Inauguration Day.
You promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
In his first post-election network television interview, President-elect Donald Trump said he has no choice but to deport everyone in the U.S. here illegally, and said he will move to end birthright citizenship, long enshrined in the 14th Amendment of the Constitution.
My understanding is he wants to do it by executive order, which is just not legally possible.
Victoria Carmona, a law professor at Chicago.
Donald Trump wants to end birthright citizenship. I don't know. This should raise the alarm bell by like 9,000%. This should be the news of the day. This should be the news of the hour. Donald Trump wants to end birthright citizenship, and the fact that he wants to do that, that's like it's illegal because it's part of the Constitution. Once you're born in the country, you're an American. But he wants to end it. How is he gonna do that? You see, like how already things sounds crazy and scary. There's a little bit of belief I have in Donald Trump, but like in some of his policies. But this one is scary. I don't understand why he doesn't want to just build the wall. You look like I don't know. You look like he forgot about the wall. The wall is a better idea to me.
Kent is concerned with the long-term implications that would have, but also says it's not realistic.
So in order to take that away, we'd have to get 2/3 of Congress, so both the House and the Senate, as well as 3/4 of the states would have to ratify that.
Carmona, born to immigrant parents herself, has...
You hear this? So Trump is just talking stuff, and it's not possible. I think right now Trump has the political capital to be able to build a wall. I think he really do. I think he should focus only on the wall. Like I don't think he has the political capital right now to end birthright citizenship, because this is like going against the Constitution. This is gonna be so unfavorable. This will cost him the midterm election in a major way. Like the midterm election is gonna destroy the Senate or whatever. The House and the Senate. A lot of people are gonna lose their seat. He has to be careful with that. That's a very bad idea to me.
Received numerous concerned phone calls from clients since the election.
Have your paperwork in order in terms of, right, if you have birth certificates of your children.
Trump, this policy scared the hell out of me, guys. I don't trust this policy. I don't like that the Trump putting out this policy. What is wrong with building the wall? He doesn't want to. He's not talking about building the wall anymore. I personally feel like if you're an immigrant, you're already in the country. You can stay in the country. You're already here. Forget it, man. I wouldn't do that. If I was Trump, I wouldn't try to get everybody out like that. No way.
With criminals, but then advance to others, describing scenarios in which U.S. citizens may choose to be deported with family members in the country legally.
3/4 of undocumented people in the country have been here at least 10 years.
And regarding Dreamers, Trump took a softer tone, telling Meet the Press moderator Kristen Welker he is open to working with Democrats to keep undocumented immigrants who entered the U.S. as children in the country.
And
You want them to be able to stay. That's what you're saying.
I do. I want to be able to work something out.
We are encouraging people with a DACA to file to renew their DACA status as soon as possible, and I'm not overly...
That is interesting, guys. That Trump, when it comes to Dreamers, he's willing to. He's a little bit more lenient when it comes to Dreamers, but he wants to end birthright citizenship. So if you're born in the country, doesn't mean you're a citizen. He wants to end that. That's gonna be I don't know. It's gonna be a tough battle. But when it comes to DACA Dreamers, I think I see what's going on with Trump. It's like you're already in the country. You've been here for 20 years. You worked for 20 years. You probably built a business. So why would he want to remove you? So he's going to focus on the criminals. But I think this is the way I look at the situation. It's okay for Trump to do that, but what Trump doesn't understand is, I mean, what I see that it seems like he doesn't understand is let's say you deport many people, right? Let's say you deport 20 million or 30 million people. Let's say you deport all those people. Does Trump think that there will never be another a Democrat that comes to the House, to the White House? So now the Democrats going to take over, and now he's going to allow everybody in again. So which means that you didn't do anything. So I don't understand that mindset. The mindset that I do understand, which is not left or right, which is just good for the country, I think it's okay to build a wall to stop the inflow of immigrants, to make it easier for the border patrol, because there's a war. Of course, if there's a war, things are better. I used to do security, and I've done security. When you put a barricade, it's easier to control the people, the homeless, or the people coming in into the property. So of course, so that's the way I see it.
Really optimistic about it, unfortunately.
Trump's mass deportation plan has been a key promise of his presidential campaign. Of course, we'll have to wait and see what actually happens when he takes office. But his comments on Meet the Press yesterday about the plan were the most expansive we've heard since the election. Marion?
Thank you so much, Kate.
President-elect Donald Trump's pick for borders are. So Chicago will be the focus for deportation policy as soon as the administration takes over in January.
Tom Homan said they will focus on people who are threats to public safety at first. But when he spoke last night, he also said it would be the...
Okay, I gotta stop this. It look like there's a problem with the download.
It would be the biggest deportation operation this country has ever seen.
January 21st. Yeah.
Wow, the borders all say that Chicago will be the focus of deportation. Man, this is like a scary time for Chicago, guys. I don't know. Like I did not know there was a lot of immigrants in Chicago. Why are there so many immigrants in Chicago? It's super cold over there. I'm thinking like all the immigrants will go to like a nice warm place like Miami. But Chicago, I understand Chicago is a sanctuary city. I got it. I forgot about that. Chicago is a sanctuary city. Florida is not a sanctuary city.
And we're going to start right here in Chicago, Illinois.
Homan also had strong words for Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, urging the mayor to, quote, come to the table, but also threatening legal action. NBC5's Christian Farr has reaction.
If he impedes us, if he knowingly harbors and conceals an illegal alien, I will prosecute him.
Tom Homan directed those powerful words at Chicago's Mayor Brandon Johnson as the incoming border czar gets ready to conduct a mass deportation starting next month. For months, President-elect Trump has been talking about Homan's marching orders.
I want you to run the biggest deportation operation this country's ever seen. Amen.
Homan spoke those words last night during a Republican event on Chicago's northwest side, and we also reached out to the mayor's office about Homan's prosecution comment. Besides the mass deportation, Homan has also been charged with securing the border.
Is he going to have enough personnel, enough resources?
Fred Sau is with the Illinois Coalition for Immigrants and Refugee Rights and questions whether this deportation plan can actually be pulled off. Sau says ICIRR says undocumented families need to make sure they know their legal rights and to also have an emergency plan in case they are arrested.
Who's going to watch over the property? Who's going to pay the bills? How do we address medical issues that may come up? All of these things need to be thought through and planned out.
Some immigration attorneys here in the Chicago area say they already have experience dealing with Trump's first term in office, but they say this time they believe it's going to be more challenging.
I do believe it would be worse, but at the same time, I also believe that advocates, immigration attorneys, and just the community in general is going to be more prepared.
In Streeterville, Christian Farr, NBC5 News.
Governor J.B. Pritzker says he will not block ICE agents from deporting criminals as President-elect Donald Trump promises mass deportations.
Trump's borders are predicted this week.
So that's a good news. I mean, if somebody is a criminal, yeah, forget about it. At least the governor has common sense for that.
Chicago will be prioritized in these deportations. Political reporter Marianne Ahern was just back from Pritzker's remarks today. I know it's a big topic of discussion in state and city officials. What do they have to say, Marianne?
Alex and Marion, yes, many questions to the governor today. The president-elect says the focus first will be on criminals as he plans to begin those deportations January 21st. While Pritzker defended those waiting for citizenship, he conceded criminals should be sent back to their homes. Governor Pritzker's remarks just days after new border czar Tom Homan visited Chicago with promises to first deport criminals who are not documented.
A convicted violent criminal should not be in the United States, if you ask me. A convicted immigrant, right, undocumented immigrant, let me be clear with the words, undocumented, should not be allowed to stay in the United States if they are a convicted violent criminal.
Pritzker also said he will defend the migrants who have arrived in the Chicago area in the last 2 years. He said, quote, I have an obligation to protect them, and says the laws in Illinois just do that. We have a lot more to come.
There's so many things that are going to be rolling out as the immigration policy starts to become more clear.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Marianne.
Wow, this is interesting. So the migrants the migrants that are legal. Governor Pritzker from Chicago said that he will fight tooth and nail for them. But if you committed a crime, he doesn't have your back like that. That's basically what he's saying. So okay, let's see how this thing gonna play out, man. This is gonna be a bite like here. Okay, let's check it out. Okay.
Acts of violence.
Guys, there's a big difference between the mayor of Chicago and the mayor of New York. The mayor of Chicago, when it comes to immigration, he wants to fight Trump when it comes to the immigration issue. The mayor of New York, Eric Adams, wants to work with Trump. This is a very interesting dynamic, guys. Very, very interesting. This is so interesting.
Not going to be a safe haven for those who commit repeated violent crimes. We made terrible mistakes in the past by preventing to keep our city safe from those who have committed repeated acts of violence.
And while Adams embraces cooperation, his counterpart in Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson, this guy, he's vowing defiance to Trump's immigration plans, which Tom Homan is warning there will be consequences if he blocks deportations.
Chicago's in trouble because your mayor sucks and your governor sucks. And we're going to start right here in Chicago, Illinois. Now, if your Chicago mayor doesn't want to help, he can step aside. But if he impedes us, if he knowingly harbors and conceals an illegal alien, I will prosecute him.
Cyrus, I was saying on Newsroom today, I feel like President Trump is giving cover to people who want to do the right thing, but whose maybe the city council or their state legislature don't want to back them up on this, in this case, deporting illegal migrants. And so this meeting today in New York, is that a good step forward? Can something happen?
You know what? I could not be prouder than Mayor Adams, because he's not the mayor that the progressive liberals want, but he's becoming the hero that the people of New York need at his own expense. Because at the end of the day, he's a police officer, and he has to serve.
And this is why they elected him. They feel like we needed a little bit of law and order. Law and order is important too. But a lot of progressives don't like that because they feel like law and order is it's against the black community, which is kind of true because there's some black people into that life because of all the discrimination, the racism that they went through. They were oppressed, so of course they ended up doing the bad things. So it's kind of the life of the black man, man. It's like we have a very complex life. It's like we are the people on the downside of life. So of course we're gonna be more prone to commit crime. And we've been denied access to things. So it's a very complex issue coming to the black community. And there's a single motherhood thing. But like but the progressive they look at things. I think some of them they look at it too narrowly. They look at it like, oh no, you committed all those crimes, like, oh you racist. I don't think it's about that. Is that right now, forget about the racism, look at it like when you talk about crime, the Latinos are part of it too, and a lot of white people. There's more white people committing crime these days than ever before. There's a lot of white people that are becoming gangsters in the urban area too now, because that's how bad the economy is for so a lot of white people. There's a lot of white single mothers now, like with baby mamas. The same problem with black people taking welfare. Welfare queen is a lot of white women too doing that now, right now. So it's a different economy.
Protect, and that's really what you want. He's not going to get support from those other groups. But by this meeting, he's showing that he doesn't care whether you're illegal or you're a citizen. If you break the law, there should be consequences. And if and especially if you're breaking the law and you're not a citizen, you shouldn't be here. But he doesn't want the streets unsafe. He wants a sanctuary city. Can be a sanctuary city. It's a safe place to be. But behave, follow the rules, follow the laws, or there'll be consequences. And that's all he's trying to do, which is amazing to me that this is such a big deal. So yeah, he's going to get cover from the president, but he's going to get support from the people. And those who vote should look at the people who have problems with keeping our streets safe. Because if you break it down, that's all it's about, is keeping our streets safe. People in Chicago, you think they're going to continue to vote for a guy who's going to obstruct keeping their city safe? Right. That works for a while, but he's going to find out the hard way.
There'll be a backlash. And Judge, do you think that we'll see some results? I'm so hopeful. Well, I don't want to get my hopes up too high and be disappointed.
I think we are going to see results, because I think that Tom Homan is, with the support of the Trump administration, they are going to prosecute people for knowingly harboring illegals. That is a crime, and they're going to prosecute those crimes. What I think is interesting is that Mayor Adams forgot he was a cop for the first couple of years of his being the mayor. And I used to yell here and say, I want to see you roll your sleeves up and go to a homicide scene and be a real cop. But now that he's been indicted, maybe a change of heart. What bothers me, though, is the quote is this. We want to deport those who are convicted of repeated violent crimes. First of all, as far as I'm concerned...
you know what I think? Why did he say that? I think he's trying to pander to the left. He's in a tough position. I think it's okay to be a Democrat that's a right-winger. Like a Democrat, they call you right-winger. It's not right-winger. It's about doing law enforcement. I have to protect the city. And if they are criminals that are committing crime, they got to go to jail. That's it. There's no
any crime, since you're here illegally is enough. And by the way, we've got 1.4 million deportation orders already before we even get to the violent crimes. Okay, so they've got a huge job. And you compare New York and Chicago to each other. At least in New York, Mayor Adams, to his credit, he's singing the right song. He's in the right choir now. And I'm happy about that. But what's going to happen is if Chicago and Brandon Johnson decide, like Maureen Healey from Massachusetts and who's the other one, Newsom from California, if they want to protect illegals who are criminals, even those against whom a deportation order has been issued, what's going to happen? All of the illegal criminals are going to go to their states. And you know what? Good on them. They're going to end up with an incredible number of illegals who are going to commit violent crimes. And finally, I think it is amazing that you would want to fight the deportation orders, especially if your job, if you're so ideologically left that you forget you work for the American people.
Yeah, Jesse, if you want to follow the rule of law, if there's a deportation order, then by law you have to deport them. It's not cruel to follow the law.
Of course, it's not cool to follow the law. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like deportation for criminals should be totally accepted by every governors. I don't believe that your governor, you should say that, oh, you committed a crime, you killed two people, and then, oh, I get to protect you to stay in my jail. You can get rid of those people, but I don't think you should get rid of the legal immigrant or even some illegal immigrant that already in the country and they've been living in the country for 6 or 8 or 9 years. I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea. But like, I personally believe like it's like the immigration thing should be something like I personally believe it should be moving forward. We need to build a wall. That's the way I feel about it. I wouldn't go too crazy about the mass deportation. I would be crazy about the wall. The wall is the biggest thing because it's permanent. It's permanent. You need something permanent. But like the deportation thing is okay, you know. But
like I couldn't harbor at my house in New Jersey America's Most Wanted. I couldn't just have all of America's Most Wanted in my house eating and showering all day, and the government at the gate saying, "Hey, Mr. Waters, we'd like to come in and grab these guys." No, and there was a standoff. I would lose that standoff pretty badly. That's what Mayor Johnson's doing. Mayor Johnson thinks he's another country, like Venezuela, like with a non-extradition treaty, where like you can't move people out. No, you're in the same country. And he's also pretty stupid because he was complaining, Texas, don't send any migrants here. Yeah. And now he's like, well, don't take them away. Like, which one? Do you want them here or do you not want them here? I'm not really sure. Imagine if Rudy Giuliani, when he was mayor, was harboring Russian hackers on
this meeting.
I'm glad I listened to Mayor Adams after the meeting, and he said that it was a good meeting. He basically articulated what's been said around the table, and I think Tyrus from the outset said it well. I would differ slightly with Tyrus in just one regard. I think there are a lot of Democrats like me that want.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about a progressive. That's like talking about the Tea Party. But I'm talking about everyday Democrats.
So, but I think a lot of everyday Democrats. I saw there was a Democrat in the city today. I think the public advocate came out and was critical of Mayor Adams for meeting with Holman and saying he wanted to be helpful in some ways. You're going to have tension in politics. Republicans, you have it on your side. Democrats have it on our side. But I'm glad, to your point, when someone stands up and wants to lead, it's a very, very good thing. Most New Yorkers want their streets safe. Most New Yorkers, an overwhelming number of New Yorkers want safe streets, safe subways, better education outcomes. And whatever his motivation is, Judge, I don't know what I've heard him. He's certainly had a little change on this issue. Because I remember when the migrants were first coming to the city.
He was shaking their hands.
They all were.
I think he tried to play politician. I think he was forced to be politician. He just said, I'm a cop. I'm not doing this.
I like it when politicians, particularly politicians, can say, on Monday, 6 weeks ago, I was for position A. But after watching what's happened 6 months later, I've had a change of heart. And whatever that change of heart, I attribute to him knowing and realizing that his city has been overrun. I'm part of the city that sees it over and over again. And finally, I like Tom Holman. I wish him the very best. But I'm reminded of the great Nick Saban, who I think is the greatest college football coach of all time. He said, I always analyze kids when they came into the program. Who were the workhorses and who were the show horses? Be a workhorse, Mr. Holman. You got all.
So he feels like Holman is talking too much. Okay, but he has to talk because that's the era we're in right now. And I understand the talking too because it's like the talking's gonna by Holman talking a lot. That puts a lot, he's talking about the issue because now you're shaming the governor. Like if Governor Newsom decide to protect all the criminals, right? And he said that all the criminals have to stay, all the terrorists, all those people, the rapists, the people that killed all the Californians, all those people. Let's say he said that I have to protect those people because I want the taxpayers to pay for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for those people. And let's say Holman is out there and Holman is talking and saying that like, yo, you see what happened? Your governor do this. That's going to create a huge backlash against Governor Newsom, and he might lose the governorship. You know what I'm saying? But I don't hate Governor Newsom. I don't know why. I don't hate him totally. But it's like, I think he can understand a little bit of the side of the other equation. I don't understand what's going on with Don Newsom. I think that's something we do not fully get. Why would he protect those criminals in jail? Why? Why do you want to do that? Why do you have compassion for criminals? It's kind of like Bernie that was talking about, yes, people that are in jail and prison should vote. Why are you so focused on people in jail voting? I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, don't even bring it up. That's something that's like later on. Your crazy mindset should come out later, I think. I think those crazy things that are like, you can hide some things under the curtain. Some people say they throw it under the bus. I think it's like hiding it behind the curtain. I think that's the way I look at those situations. Like, sometimes you can hide something behind the curtain and it's okay. You're not hurting the transgender. You just like just hiding it so that you can eventually open the curtain, or maybe like you can hide. It's kind of like the transgender issue. It's a very toxic issue for some people on the left, and and a lot of time when they bring it up, they end up losing the election. And some people say it's not because of that, but many people say that that's one of the reasons why Kamala lost the election because there was an ad that came against her. So I personally feel like when you look at the transgender thing, it's like, yo, you can a lot of time, it's not all the time you have to do that, but I think sometimes you can hide them in the closet. You don't have to bring it up all the time. Like, sometimes, hey, it's in the closet. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what, sometimes it's okay to do that, but some people, they don't know, they cannot do that. They have to bring it up all the time. I want guys to have vaginas. I want guys to be women. I want guys to fight with women. They want to keep saying the same thing over and over again. Yeah, look at me. I want guys to go after women. It's so stupid to do that. It's not all the time. Sometimes you can do it, but not all the time. It's like, but some people are weird like that, man. They just want to keep on pushing and saying the same thing.